Gentlemen, if you want to avoid emotional destruction and protect your sanity in a relationship, listen closely because in the next few minutes you're going to discover 8 devastating red flags that can completely derail your emotional health, masculinity, and peace of mind if you ignore them. These signs aren't always loud, they're often quiet, almost invisible, until it's too late. So, if you've ever felt confused, manipulated, or like you're walking on eggshells with a woman, this video might just save your future. Let's begin. Red flag 1. Disrespect. Let's be absolutely clear about one thing. A woman who disrespects you on any level will eventually destroy your confidence. And here's the tricky part. Disrespect doesn't always come in shouting or slamming doors. Sometimes in sarcasm. It hides behind. It's masked as passive-aggressive comments that sound innocent until you realize they're meant to cut you down. Whether it's directed toward you, heroxes, or even random strangers. A woman who operates with habitual disrespect is waving a bright red flag, and she's waving it in your face. You see, I've witnessed this far too often. It's disturbingly common for some women to talk about their exes like they were monsters or the worst decision they ever made. Now, sure, some relationships end debatably, but when that disrespect is less bitterness, name-calling, or smug superiority, it's not about healing, it's about power. And it reveals a deep inability to process emotional wounds maturely. Why does that matter to you? Because the way she speaks about the men from her past is a mirror reflecting how she'll eventually speak about you. If she jokes about her ex being broke, useless, or a narcissist, ask yourself, was every man in her past really that lane, or is she just rewriting history to be the victim? Disrespect often starts small. Rolling her eyes when you speak, interrupting you mid-sentence, mocking your goals or your tone, comparing you to someone better. These little acts of erosion eat away at your value until one day you don't even recognize the man in the mirror. Harassed truth, no one tells you. Once you tolerate disrespect, you're teaching her how to treat you. And it's never just tone time. It's a snowball effect. The first insult is always the smallest. The next time, it gets worse until you're yourself for just wanting peace. Amelia's rule. The moment she disrespects you once, correct it. The moment she does it twice, reconsider the connection. And the moment she makes a top pattern, leave. You deserve more than a woman who chips away at your dignity. You are not required or obligated to tolerate disrespect ever. Not from her, not from anyone. Find someone who doesn't just love you when it's easy. Find someone who respects you when it's hard. Red flag number 2. No self-accountability. Here's single quotes as something that will save you years of frustration. A woman who refuses to take responsibility for her actions will make you the villain in every argument. Most people, men and women, struggle with self-accountabilities. Owning your mistakes hurts the ego. It's uncomfortable. It's raw, but it's also what separates emotional adults from emotional children. If you find that she's constantly blaming everyone else for her life, her exes, her job, her parents, her friends, while everyone saying, maybe I made a mistake, you're looking at a walking storm of drama and unresolved pain. Think about this. When you're in a relationship, problems will come up, but if she cannot say the words, I was wrong, you'll find yourself apologizing for her mistakes just to keep the peace. This isn't love. This is emotional hostage-taking. Psychology calls this externalizing blame. It's a defensive mechanism that prevents someone from looking inward and growing. But the problem is, if she can't own her faults, she'll never improve. And here's the kicker. A woman with zero self-accountability often struggles with emotional self-regulation, too. She's quick to anger, quick to cry, quick to lash out because she hasn't built the maturity to process her feelings responsibly. You'll notice patterns like she never apologizes first. Every fight becomes her fault. She plays the victim card constantly. This behavior is not just it's a major sign of a woman like this will drain you emotionally because she believes the world revolves around her narrative. Bung wronged. What should you do? Simple, run. Don't walk. You can't save a man from their own refusal to grow. And the longer you stay, the more you'll feel like you're going insane because she'll always twist the facts to make question your reality. Amelia Sremender, a healthy woman says, I'm a mistake. I'll do better. An unhealthy woman says, you made me act this way. Choose wisely. Red flag number 3. Lack of commitment. Commitment phobia is rampant thanks to hookup culture, social media validation, and a society that glorifies options over loyalty. Let me be blunt. If a woman doesn't want to commit, nothing you Dual change Hermand. You might meet a woman who's beautiful, fun, magnetic, but every time you'd bring up commitment, she dodges it. She says things like, I'm not ready for anything serious. I'm just enjoying life right now. Why label things? Listen carefully. That's not romance. That's avoidance. And here's the thing, women are biologically more inclined to commit than men. So, if she's proudly saying she's not the relationship type or brags about how many men are chasing her, you need to take that at face value. Don't fall into the trap of maybe she'll change for me. That's fantasy. That's hope disguised as strategy. You misjudge people by who they are right now, not by who you wish they'd become. A lack of commitment is often linked to unresolved trauma, especially if she's been hurt or betrayed in the past. But there's a hard truth. It's not your job to heal her, it's not your job to wait for her. Even if you're not looking for something long-term, remember this, a woman who can't commit to anything will create chaos in your life. You'll constantly feel like you're competing with other men or like she's keeping one foot out the door. Amelia's rule. If she treats commitment like a prison instead of a choice, let her go. Because when a woman is truly into you, you'll never hate to convince her. Red flag number 4. Lack of effective communication skills. Here's a truth bomb that most men learn the hard way. You don't break up over the big things. You break up over the daily misunderstandings, the emotional disconnects, and the silent resentment that builds over time, because neither of you truly knows how to communicate. Effective communication is just about talking. It's about connection. It's about listening with intent to understand, not just to respond. If you notice that she has trouble expressing herself clearly, avoids emotional vulnerability, or refuses to acknowledge your perspective even when she disagrees, you're not in a relationship, you're in a In today's digital age, communication is dying a slow death. Social media, texting, short-form content, it's all rewiring our brains for immediacy and instant gratification. We swipe, scroll, and ghost our way through human interactions, and sadly, many women and men have not developed the emotional vocabulary needed for a deep, mature relationship. So, what do spore communication look like? She give us the silent treatment instead of talking it out. She gets defensive themament, you express a concern. She interrupts you, rolls her eyes, or turns a weary conversation into a debate. She avoids difficult conversations and then blows up over something small. These behaviors aren't just annoying, they're emotionally damaging over time. Because every time she shuts you down or tunes you out, you begin to suppress your truth. And when that happens, the relationship becomes a cage, not a safe space. And here's the kicker. A woman who doesn't possess basic communication skills will eventually make you feel like the crazy one. You'll be gaslit, invalidated, and misunderstood until you stop talking altogether. Amelia's insight. Communication is not a luxury in a relationship, it's the bloodstream. If it stops flowing, the whole thing dies. If she can't hold a hard conversation now, how will she handle real-life problems, money, family, stress later? You want a partner, not a power play. Red flag number 5. Constantly judging other men. Pay attention because this only slides right under the radar. Watcho, she talks about men in general. Not just her exes, but strangers, co-workers, celebrities, even your friends. If everything she notices about a man is tied to his status, his money, his car, his job title, you're not dealing with a woman who wants connection. You're dealing with a woman who wants a transaction. That's not love, that's business. Women like this will assess your worth not by your character but by your net worth. These are the ones who say things like, you could never date a man who drives that kind of car. He's cute, but what does he even do for a living? You should dress more like that guy. He looks like he owns something. At first, you might feel challenged to level up or prove yourself. But here's what's really happening. You're being objectified. And it doesn't stop there. The moment she sees someone she considers an upgrade, she's gone. She won't tell you. She just drift emotionally and physically towards something better. Because to her, Minari brands. And like any brand, you can be replaced. Amelia's rule. If a woman can't appreciate your essence without attaching it to status, she's not building with you. She's shopping. An Amen who is constantly being judged will eventually feel like a product on a shelf. Never enough, never complete, never secure. Walk away from that shelf burst, she discounts you. Red flag number 6. Jealousy. Jealousy is one of those emotions that people often romanticize. She gets jealous because she cares. Let me tell you something. There's a world of difference between care and control. Sure, a tiny amount of jealousy can feel flattering. It might even trigger your protector instinct. But when that jealousy crosses into possession, surveillance, or manipulation, you are no longer in a relationship. You are in a psychological prison. Excessive jealousy is rooted in deep insecurity and often leads to possessiveness, emotional abuse, and even gaslighting. Here's how it usually begins. She says things like, "Wow, you sure go out a lot lately," or throws a sarcastic, "Must been us too, have all that time for your friends." Or she laughs off her jabs with an LOL in a text, but that laughter isn't light. It's layered with accusation. She's not joking. She's testing you. And when that passive jealousy doesn't work, it mutates. Where were you? Who was she? I don't trust you. She might start checking your phone, stalking your social media, or questioning you every time you mention Anathor woman, even if it's your cousin. This level of jealousy will choke your freedom, drain your energy, and worst of all, make you doubt your own integrity. You'll start second-guessing innocent actions, apologizing for things you never did, and changing your behavior just to avoid another emotional explosion. Amelia's warning. A jealous woman is a ticking time bomb, and no amount of love, reassurance, or transparency will ever make her feel safe because the fear is inside her, not outside. You did create that insecurity, and you can't fix it either. Don't try to be her therapist. Just walk away. Red flag number 7. Lack of empathy. Let's get one thing straight. Empathy is not optional in a relationship. It's not some bonus feature. It's the glue. And yet, many men miss this red flag because they confuse a woman being nice with being emotionally available. They confuse charm with care. A woman who lacks empathy cannot connect to your emotions. She cannot see beyond her own feelings. She cannot stand beside you in your weakest moments because your pain makes her uncomfortable. Watch for signs like, she quickly changes the subject when you bring up something serious. She gets annoyed when you're sad or stressed. She makes everything a bother, even your problems. She never asks, "Are you okay?" When you're quiet, only "What's wrong with me?" That's not love. That's emotional selfishness. You will feel incredibly alone in a relationship with a woman like this. Psychologically, this can lead to emotional isolation where you start believing your pain doesn't matter. You stop sharing. You stop opening up, and slowly you disappear inside yourself. Amelia's truth. Empathy is not about agreeing with everything you say. It's about being willing to feel with you, toss out in the mess with you without fixing or fleeing. A woman who lacks empathy will always abandon you at your lowest point. And when that happens, the damage cuts deeper than any breakup. Red flagrate. Attention whoring. This Sony is dangerous, not just for your relationship, but for your reputation. Some women live and breathe attention. They crave validation the way a drowning person craves air. And they'll do anything to get it. This can manifest in 3 ways. Physical appearance. Constantly dressing provocatively, not for confidence, but for every outfit, every selfie, every glance. It's all a performance for attention. Social media addiction. Posting suggestive pictures, thirst trap captions, drama-filled updates. She's net connecting. She's marketing. Behavioral drama, picking fights, out off no hair, playing the victim, turning every disagreement into a scene. Not because it matters, but because it makes her the center of the emotional universe. Here's why this is when you associate with an attention-hungry woman, her reputation becks yours. People start questioning your judgment. Other women view you as insecure for tolerating it. And worst of all, you spend your days competing for her focus against a faceless army of likes and strangers online. Amelia Shard truth. If she doesn't care how Shara presents herself in public, she won't care how she represents you in private. And if she's constantly selling herself to the crowd, one day the buyer will be other than you. You can't build a kingdom with someone who thinks that crowd is more important than the king. Listen carefully, because this is where most men fall. We ignore red flags because we like her, because we want it to work, because we think we can fix her. But here's the truth. Your emotions can't change reality. And logic is your only shield in the battlefield of modern. These red flags, disrespect, deflection, jealousy, selfishness, they're not personality quirks. They're emotional landmines. And the longer you ignore them, the louder they'll explode. So, protect your peace. Guard your energy. Choose wisely, because the right woman won't make you guess, chase, or shrink yourself to be loved. She'll respect you from the start. She'll communicate clearly. She'll bring peace, not chaos. And until you meet her, walk away from every red flag like your life depends on it, because it does. If you found value in this video, drop a comment below, telling me which red flag it hardest. And don't forget to subscribe for more content that helps you think deeper, love smarter, and reclaim your masculine power. Until next time, I'm Amelia, and this is